Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Berkshire Eagle High School All Stars Gala. I am Fred Rutberg, the proud publisher of the Eagle, and I am honored to welcome you to our virtual gala. The High School All Stars celebration is very special to us at the Eagle. Indeed, we started planning this year's event shortly after the 2019 edition concluded. For me, the opportunity to take time to honor the extraordinary achievement of so many special young women and men is one of the great joys of my job. When the coronavirus turned our world upside down, the easy choice would have been to cancel this year's gala and start planning for 2021. We'll miss the feeling of the electricity in the air when parents, coaches, friends, and athletes gather to celebrate the accomplishments of these wonderful young people. And by the way, if you want to add to the celebration, we encourage you to share this video on social media. Also, we question how could we have a sports gala when we have to leave out all of the spring sports. But I, along with our editors, sports departments, and sales staffs, decided that when so much has been taken from the youth of our communities, especially the class of 2020, the show, although somewhat smaller, must go on. And the show, by the way, will include some surprises and cameos from sports celebrities. This year, like every year, we could not put on the show without the generous support of our sponsor, Berkshire Bank. And I want to thank them not only for their continued support, but for the enthusiastic way they jumped in behind our plan to substitute a virtual gala for the live event they had come to expect. But frankly, we probably would have taken a pass on this virtual gala if it were not for the fact that we had lined up such a terrific and generous host and MC who was also willing and eager to adapt to the times. I'm old enough to have seen him pitch for the Minnesota Twins against Sandy Koufax and the LA Dodgers in the 1965 World Series, 3 times. Although living in a National League town, I was rooting for the Dodgers. But in 1975, he was traded to my hometown Phillies. So decades ago, our paths crossed, albeit vicariously. During a long major league career, he accumulated a host of impressive statistics, beginning with 283 wins. That places him 31st on the all-time major league list of winning pitchers. His baseball longevity makes him one of the few major leaguers to have played in 4 separate decades. But what best qualifies him to headline tonight's event is the way that he continued to contribute and develop after his playing days had ended. He went from being a star pitcher to an Emmy Award-winning broadcaster and an author. Indeed, he's still pitching. I was told that my job was to toss the mic to him, and I've had this baseball in my office for several years. It's a special one, as it was signed by the entire 1939 Drury High School team, and we've written about this in the Eagle about 2 years ago. So with the heartfelt thanks of our sponsors and friends and everyone at the Eagle, it is my great pleasure to welcome our host and MC for this evening, a true all-star himself, 3 times if you're counting, our almost neighbor, Jim Cott.
Thanks, Fred. I'm Jim Cott, and welcome to the Berkshire Eagles 2020 Berkshire All-Star Award Show. We're here to celebrate the hard work and dedication of our region's best young athletes from Berkshire County's high schools. Drury, Hoosick Valley, Lee, Lenox, McCann, Monument Mountain, Mount Everett, Mount Greylock, Pittsfield, Taconic, and Wacona. And I want to first take a moment to congratulate and thank the athletes we're honoring today. We're here because of you. Thank you for enriching our community, making your schools and your families and friends proud. They've seen all the work you've put into getting to this point, and they know all the hard work you're putting in now and will put in the years to come. Speaking of them, let's take a moment to thank the parents who raised you, the coaches who have guided you along the way, and the educators who have been there to support you. All of their hard work and dedication makes the future brighter for you and all of us. We're honoring more than 50 of the region's top high school athletes and coaches as selected by the editors and writers of the Berkshire Eagle. And later in the program, we'll reveal the All-Stars top honors for the 2019-2020 season. The coaches of the year, teams of the year, athletes of the year, whose achievements clearly were above and beyond. And stay tuned for a surprise tribute honoring this year's unsung heroes. So without further ado, let's kick off the Berkshire Eagles 2020 Berkshire All Stars Award Show with the fall season. All the MVPs, players, coaches of the year in golf, cross country, soccer, volleyball, and football. Congratulations to all of you.
Golf. Player of the Year, Henry Sneezek, Hoosick Valley. The senior wrapped up his high school career in fine fashion, helping lead the Hurricanes to back-to-back Western Massachusetts Division II championships. Sneezek was medalist in 10 of 16 regular season matches, shot 40 or better in 10 of those 16 regular season matches, and was under 40 8 times. Sneezek shot 79 at the Country Club of Pittsfield, finishing second to Southwick's Matt Garrity in the Western Mass Division II tournament. But Sneezek was number one for the Hurricanes as they beat Southwick 341 to 344. Coach of the Year, Dick Salinetti, Lennox. Salinetti, who finished his 16th season as a coach, guided the Young Millionaires to a second-place finish in the Western Massachusetts Division III tournament. Lennox went from missing the tournament in 2013 and 14 to finishing 8th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd in the next 4 seasons before breaking through to the state tournament for the first time since 2012. Cross-country running. Boys Runner of the Year, Ted Yee, Lennox. Ted Yee returned to Lennox after studying abroad the year before, and he hit the ground running for the Millionaires. Yee opened the year by placing 5th in his first race, won 5 others during the regular season, and kept building on his progress until the postseason. At the Western Mass Division II meet, Yee came in second place overall and helped his team to its first Western Mass crown since 2009. At States, Yee placed 10th overall and was the top placer from Western Mass. Girls Runner of the Year, Kate Swan, Mount Greylock. Kate Swan left her competitors struggling to catch up in the fall, winning 6 Berkshire County League races during her sophomore campaign. Those 6 wins were double that of her closest competitor. At the Berkshire County Individuals, Swan won by 33 seconds to cap her regular season dominance. At Western Mass, Swan finished second overall to help her Mounties to a second-place team finish. At States, Swan placed third overall in Division II and helped her Mounties take second place again. Boys Team Coach of the Year, Ted Collins, Monument Mountain. For nearly 2 decades, Collins has been working with Monument runners to get them into the best shape possible. In 2019, all of that training came together for the boys team. The team opened the season with dual wins over powerhouse county programs Lennox and Mount Greylock, and kept it up for a 10-1 record overall and a 6-1 showing in the Berkshire South, good for the Berkshire League title. The Spartans placed third in the Western Mass Division III championships, including 3 runners, Diego Salinetti, Keegan Leach, and Peter La Rochelle, all finishing in the top 7. Girls Team Coach of the Year, Jeannie Teasdale and Laura Najimy, Lennox. Jeannie Teasdale has accomplished a lot in her career at Lennox, both in cross country and in track. But in the fall, Teasdale and lead assistant Laura Najimy coached up their Harriers to a program first, a state championship. The Millionaires, with a healthy mix of veteran runners and young, eager athletes, peaked at the right time this year. At the Western Mass Championships, the Millionaires held off rival Mount Greylock by 4 points to take home first place, then followed that up a week later by beating the Mounties in the D2 State Championship by 37 points. Lennox put 4 runners in the top 25 at States. Boys Soccer. Player of the Year, Finn Welch, Mount Greylock. Finn Welch capped off his Mount Greylock career by scoring 28 goals and dishing out 17 assists as the Mounties made it to the Western Mass Division III Finals and won a Berkshire North title. He had 4 hat-tricks, including a 5-goal game against Wacona, 2 other games with 2 goals, and had at least 1 point in 16 of his team's 19 games. Defensive Player of the Year, Mitch Jesuit, Mount Greylock. Mitch Jesuit served as a senior safety blanket for the Mounties, helping to form a defensive line that gave up just 14 goals in 19 games during the 2019 campaign. Jesuit also helped bring stability to the defense, as injuries forced different players to play other positions. The Mounties pitched 11 shutouts on the season and had 5 other games with just 1 goal allowed. Offensive Player of the Year, Kevin Hubin, Wacona. Kevin Hubin helped make the turnaround for Wacona complete this year, as the Warriors got back to being a competitive, playoff qualifying team. Hubin's 31 goals played a huge part in that, as he helped to carry the offense at times. He had hat-tricks in 4 games, including 5 goals against Taconic, and scored in 14 of his team's 19 games. Coach of the Year, Blair Dills, Mount Greylock. Blair Dills has spent 19 years at the helm of the Mounties, and this year's squad was up there with some of the best. Greylock went 15-3-1 on the year, winning the Berkshire North title in the process, as well as the #1 seed in the Western Mass D3 tournament. Greylock made it to the finals this year before falling to Belchertown. Dill's squad gave up just 17 goals on the year while scoring 68. Girls Soccer. Player of the Year, Clara McWeeny, Mount Greylock. Clara McWeeny was once again among the leaders in scoring for Berkshire County this fall, racking up 18 goals and 13 assists to power a high-flying Greylock attack. As a team, Greylock scored 51 goals in 20 games this year, meaning McWeeny played a role in over half of her team's tallies. McWeeny balanced the Mountie attack that featured several potent scorers, but also led the line by herself when injuries hit the team. McWeeny helped her team to a 12-4-2 record in the regular season and a spot in the Western Mass Division III quarterfinals. Offensive Player of the Year, Izzy Lacasse, McCann Tech. To say Izzy Lacasse and the back of the net had an intimate friendship in 2019 is an understatement. The McCann Tech attacker put up an absurd 44 points in 22 games this fall, including a Berkshire County best 35 goals. Lacasse, a sophomore, showed glimpses of promise in her freshman campaign, but blew all expectations out of the water once the action started. McCann went 12-2-4 in the regular season, took first place in the Tri-County League, recorded a home win in the Western Mass Division IV tournament before Lacasse's PK in the state vocational final pushed the Hornets through for their first Voc title in 13 years. Co-Defensive Player of the Year, Abby Wells, Wacona. The Wacona defense was as solid as a board throughout most of the fall, and Abby Wells was critical in developing that unit. With her anchoring the defense, Wacona gave up just 14 goals in 20 games this season. Along with classmate Michaela Monchecki in goal, Wacona recorded 9 shutouts in the fall despite losing some key players to graduation. Wells and company went 10-3-5 in the regular season and won the Berkshire North title as well, before making it to the Western Mass Division III quarterfinals. Co-Defensive Player of the Year, Taylor Knight, Lennox. Taylor Knight was willing to do anything to win a Western Mass title in the fall, and she did it as the Millionaires got back on top of the Division IV world. Playing anywhere on the pitch that Coach Kyle Zinchuk needed, Knight spent time in goal, at attack, in the midfield, and in defense. Whichever role she was playing, Knight helped Lennox to 8 shutouts this season and just 33 goals against. Knight and her defensive teammates stepped things up in the Western Mass tournament, as Lennox put up 3 straight shutouts to claim the Western Mass title. Coach of the Year, Kyle Zinchuk, Lennox. Zinchuk entered the season without an All-Eagle MVP and with back-to-back Western Mass Finals losses. No matter for the head man on the Lennox sideline, Zinchuk got his team back to work in 2019 and never let them believe it was a rebuild. The team bought in, and even with a starting goalie out for much of the year, the Millionaires won the Berkshire South and qualified for Western Mass by going 8-8-1. Once in the postseason, Zinchuk ramped up his coaching, locked in his defense, and got the attack going as Lennox outscored its three Western Mass opponents 6-0 en route to the D4 title, the first in Zinchuk's 7-year tenure. Volleyball. Co-Offensive Player of the Year, Kiana Black, Lennox. The Millionaires were the only team in the Berkshire South with a record of 15-4 to reach the postseason, and senior Kiana Black was a big reason why. Black's ability to fiercely fire any shot over the net resulted in more than 200 kills on the year. While she made her name as an offensive threat, Black grew into a role model for her fellow Millionaires and showcased versatility with over 60 blocks and 40 aces throughout the season. Co-Offensive Player of the Year, Marie Butler, Pittsfield. The Generals stormed into the Western Mass D2 tournament, and Butler's height and athleticism gave Pittsfield the upper hand over most opponents. Double-digit kills looked less as an achievement and more as an expectation for the senior. What put her a step ahead was her leadership as a captain and chemistry with her teammates, which established Pittsfield as one of Berkshire County's premier teams. Defensive Player of the Year, Rachel Wendling, Lee. Wendling, who stepped in as a first-year libero, wasted no time making her mark with a 25-dig performance against Pittsfield on September 11th. These strong performances became routine for the sophomore, as she also notched an 18-dig performance against Lennox and another 19 digs against Monument Mountain just a week later, before an eye-popping 28 digs against Haverhill. Wendling presented a smooth transition at libero, with strong communication skills and ability to see everything happening on the court. Coach of the Year, Julia Warner, Lee. Not only did the Wildcats earn the top seed in the Western Mass D3 tournament, but finished the regular season with a record of 16-2 in Warner's first year at the helm. Her system focused on promoting the team as a whole instead of worrying about individual stats. With that in mind, it didn't stop Suriana Lee from becoming one of the league's most consistent players, while a talented bunch of underclassmen continued to develop.
Hello everyone. My name is Barbara Guido and I am a regional manager for Berkshire Bank. I am honored and excited to be a part of the Berkshire All-Star event again this year. Today you will hear the incredible stories highlighting the achievements of our local students and coaches. On behalf of Berkshire Bank, I would like to recognize and congratulate all the amazing students of this academic year. We are so incredibly proud to support the youth within our own community. While this school year has had its share of highs and lows, it warms our hearts to know that both students and staff have persevered through these challenges and have continued to work hard to achieve their academic goals. Like many of you, Berkshire Bank has built a strong foundation here, and we believe that you too can continue to grow and expand with limitless possibilities. As you continue along your journey, remember that Berkshire Bank is here to support you every step of the way, with resources available to help our students, parents, and staff continue to build their future and to become the leaders of tomorrow. So congratulations to the high-achieving academic athletes and coaches. Today is all about you.
Football. Player of the Year, Nolan Roberts, Hoosick Valley. Linemen never get the respect they deserve, but Roberts demanded it as a key cog on an offensive line that let a stable of backs run wild. Berkshire County football is known for its ground and pound style. Take away the running game, and teams panic, and the Hurricanes, led by Roberts, allowed just 10 rushing touchdowns in the regular season and held opponents to less than 8 points in 5 of 8 games. It is usually tough to identify a player's success without touchdowns or yardage, but that was never the case with Roberts. Offensive Player of the Year, Emmanuel Enda, Pittsfield. The Generals scored 31 touchdowns in the 2019 regular season, with Enda responsible for 17 of them. He proved he could score from anywhere with 6 touchdowns of at least 40 yards and finished the regular season with an eye-popping 1,432 yards rushing. Enda averaged 179 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2019, showcasing his ability as a game-changing threat and an irreplaceable offensive player that any team would love to have. Defensive Player of the Year, Luke Hescock, Wakona. Hescock was an integral part of a devastating Warrior defense. The lengthy end could not only set the edge, but gave opposing quarterbacks fits. When he couldn't reach the play caller, he would often position himself in passing lanes and swat away any passes that came his way. Hescock's presence was much needed for a team that lost a massive senior class, but Coach Gary Campbell's squad didn't miss a beat. Special Teams Player of the Year, Luke Patella, Lee. What made the 2019 Wildcats so special was a roster loaded with versatile players. Not only was Luke Patella a key member of Lee's secondary and a physical threat on the outside at receiver, he was also the team's kicker. He converted 5 extra point attempts in the Western Mass Championship game over Ware and added another 6 made attempts in a win over Commerce early in the season. Coach of the Year, Keith Thompson, Lee. From 1-3 to Western Massachusetts Division 7 champions, the Wildcats ripped out a 6-game winning streak, and only one of the games were decided by fewer than 23 points. Thompson's coaching played a big role in developing one of the deepest rosters in Berkshire County and to also instill the confidence needed to make an impressive playoff push, which included a win over the undefeated top seed in the Division 7 tournament, Hoosick Valley.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, players, coaches, and staff. First, I'd like to congratulate everybody here, showing a lot of heart, dedication, and sacrifice to their sport. Now, coming from Tamarack High School to RPI to Virginia Tech to the Pittsburgh Steelers, in Japan for the Elecom Kobe Finals, to the Albany Empire, and back home to the Southern Vermont Storm. Those qualities take you a long way, trust me. Now, congratulations on your award, but just remember, your career isn't ending, it's just the beginning.
At the Lee Elementary School, teachers are using the Eagle in their classrooms to teach kids about severe weather, informational writing, and to link the lessons they learn back to real-life situations. It's clear that the Berkshire Eagle is a valuable tool for learning both inside and outside of the classroom. These young members of the community, while they might not realize it, are seeing how a newspaper helps unite and connect individuals, family members, facts, and information to their everyday lives. Do you have a story about how the Eagle enhances your life? A story of how it helped foster a greater connection to your community? Share it with us at berkshireeagle.com/we're in this together, or tag us on Facebook or Instagram.
We're in this together.
We're in this together.
We're in this together!
Welcome back. Now let's move on to the winter sports season of the Berkshire Eagles 2020 Berkshire All Stars Award Show, when we honor the MVPs, players, and coaches of the year in basketball, alpine skiing, Nordic skiing, hockey, swimming, and wrestling. Let's get right to it. Congratulations, everyone.
Boys Basketball. Co-Player of the Year, Scott McGuire, Drury. McGuire finishes his Drury career as one of the greatest scorers to ever play in Berkshire County. Averaging 25.3 points per game this season, McGuire became the program's all-time leading scorer in the regular season and finished his career with 1,804 points, second all-time in Berkshire County boys basketball. McGuire broke his school's scoring mark with a 52-point outburst, one of a handful of eye-popping offensive outputs. He hit 53 three-pointers this season, but also showed his ability to put the ball on the deck and take it to the rim. What took McGuire's game to a new level this year was his defensive effort. Tasked with guarding all 5 positions at times, McGuire became the embodiment of what head coach Jack Reset asked for in his players, and it paid off with Drury's second straight Western Mass Championship. Co-Player of the Year, Isaac Percy, Taconic. Percy, along with Defensive Player of the Year Mohamed Sanogo, led the Braves to a third straight Western Mass title this winter, and also helped the team claim a co-state championship. Percy was forced to carry a large scoring burden this season after graduation hit the roster, and he answered the call with gusto. Percy surpassed 1,000 career points this year, and finished with 1,173 for his career, fourth all-time in Taconic history. He scored a whopping 128 points in a 4-game span this season, jump-starting a 12-game win streak that ran right through to the end of the season. In addition to his scoring prowess, Percy also stepped up his game on the defensive end and became a lockdown defender for Taconic. Defensive Player of the Year, Mohamed Sanogo, Taconic. Sanogo's trajectory in basketball has been eye-popping. Since arriving as a sophomore, Sanogo has grown and grown into a dominant force on both ends for the Braves, but most notably on defense. Sanogo, who won his third straight Western Mass title this year and helped the team to a co-state championship, locked down some of the best players in the county and state, providing highlight reel blocks that fired up the fans and his teammates. In addition to defense, Sanogo also put up 14.3 points per game and was a threat in transition with rim-rattling dunks. Offensive Player of the Year, Kevin Hubin, Wacona. Hubin was a walking bucket for his senior season. Berkshire County's top offensive threat averaged 16.9 points per game this winter, helping Wacona to a 15-5 record and the number 4 seed in the Western Mass D3 tournament. Hubin cleared 30 points 11 different times this season, cracked the 1,000 point mark in career scoring, and was held to under 20 points just 3 times this season. Hubin also did it in multiple ways, scoring 619 points this season, with less than 100 coming from 3-point range. Hubin finished his career with 1,259 points, number 2 all-time at Wacona. Coach of the Year, Randy Coldis, Monument Mountain. Coldis stepped back into the head coaching role at Monument 2 seasons ago and has helped build the Spartans up ever since. Monument went 15-5 for the second straight season, and his boys went 13-3 in Berkshire South play this season to capture the league title. Coldis coached one of the better individual talents in Dion Brown and surrounded the junior star with a system to create open looks for the entire roster. Girls basketball. Co-Player of the Year, Taya Bramer, Taconic. Bramer's leadership on the court was always apparent, answering the call when some veteran experience was needed. After using most of the regular season to gel as a team, Bramer took the reins of the offense for a dominant playoff run, where she averaged 17 points a game. The Braves marked up the record books with a record of 22-2 and a state title. None of that would have been possible without Bramer's defensive prowess and basketball IQ. Co-Player of the Year, Riley Robinson, Hoosick Valley. Robinson played the role of safety in a destructive full-court press that held 11 opponents to 35 points or fewer. When she wasn't picking off passes that were a bit too aggressive, she was communicating with her teammates on how to squash the half-court offense. On the offensive end of the court, she made her money with a devastating behind-the-back dribble before cutting into the paint, providing a level of consistency and leadership needed in order to repeat as Division III state champs. Offensive Player of the Year, Izzy Lacasse, McCann Tech. Nobody in Berkshire County scored more often than Lacasse did throughout the 2019-20 season. Despite opponents knowing the type of damage she was capable of, Lacasse averaged 16.6 points per game to lead the Hornets into the Western Mass D4 tournament. The sophomore scored 20 points 5 times on the year and was held to less than 10 just once. With only 19 made three-pointers, she leaned on her speed and slashing play style, cutting through opposing defenses at will. Defensive Player of the Year, Maria Gambaroni, Wacona. While the Warriors had a handful of impressive scorers, Wacona's success started on the defensive end. In a county loaded with talented guards, Gambaroni showcased the ability to slow down all of them. The Warriors held 13 opponents to 35 points or fewer on the season, and Gambaroni never ran out of fuel. Not only does she fit, but thrives in Coach Liz Kay's defense-first mindset, establishing herself as one of Berkshire County's top talents in the 2019-20 season. Coach of the Year, Matt Mickle, Taconic. Taconic's potential was through the roof, but it was up to Coach Mickle to help the Braves reach new heights. Coach Mickle didn't change their lineup too much, but always found the most effective way to take advantage of opposing defenses with his talented roster. He instilled a culture that allowed his players to be themselves and speak their minds, but also developed a unit that came together to achieve the first state title in program history.
It's easy to judge someone based on their wallet, whether it's thick or thin, whether it's loud or proud, or even based on its color alone. What if a bank didn't care about how your wallet stacked up? What if the level of service your bank provided wasn't based on the cash you have or your credit history? What if the only thing in your wallet that mattered to us was you? Come bank at a place where all wallets are welcome, even you, duct tape. Berkshire Bank, member FDIC.
Hi everyone, I wanted to take the time to congratulate you all on being named as High School All Stars. That is awesome. I know we've been dealing with some difficult times over the last few months, but I think we can take it as an opportunity to challenge ourselves to be better people. Use what you've learned over the past few months and use what you've learned through sport over the years and challenge yourself to be the best version of yourself. Congratulations on being an All-Star. That is an awesome accomplishment and I'm really proud of you.
Alpine skiing. Boys Skier of the Year, Andrew King, Taconic. Andrew King ran the table at Bosque and then unleashed his speed on the state at Berkshire East. It was a clean, season-long sweep for the Taconic Junior, who put the league in his rear view each and every week of the regular season. With still another year of high school to go, King's confidence, knowledge, and willingness to attack the mountain will make him the man to beat in 2021. Girls Skier of the Year, Helena Jankovic, Lennox. The Lennox youngster bounced back from a 12th place finish in the opener and was untouched over the remaining 5 weeks, still totaling a perfect 100 to claim the title of Berkshire County's best. She took on all comers, with 3 other girls finishing as runner-up throughout the season. She helped guide the Millionaires to a repeat county title and led a full crew into the state meet at Berkshire East. It was a heck of a season for the Lennox 8th grader, and the best is yet to come. Boys Coach of the Year, Mark Latimer, Taconic. On the boys' side, the Berkshire County League looked to be wide open in 2020, and 3 different teams took home race victories, including the Taconic Braves. Head coach Mark Latimer's crew showcased some major in-season improvements, highlighted by a runner-up spot in Week 4, before roaring to a win in the season finale by 6.09 seconds over Monument Mountain. From the elites like King to the freshest of rookies, Latimer makes lifelong skiers out of his student athletes. Girls Coach of the Year, Greg Knight, Lennox. The Millionaires are the standard bearers right now for Berkshire County alpine skiing. Head coach Greg Knight and his staff have helmed the program that took home both the girls' and boys' regular season titles and swept the season-long podium for all Berkshire on the girls' side. The Millionaires sent 8 athletes to states, including 3 boys, who helped take home 4 league wins on the season. Nordic skiing. Boys Skier of the Year, Cole McDermott, Mount Greylock. Cole McDermott threw down the gauntlet in the first race of the season and never looked back. The Mount Greylock senior took first in all of the league races during the regular season as the Mounties repeated as Berkshire League champs. He also held off a strong field of competition as 5 other skiers placed second behind him. In the postseason, he finished in 4th overall at Prospect Mountain as Mount Greylock reclaimed the MIAA State Championship by holding off rival Lennox. Girls Co-Skier of the Year, Mary Elliott, Lennox. Elliott was as steady a skier as Lennox had throughout the regular season. Then, in the MIAA state championships, she helped make sure that her Millionaires went home with the first place trophy. Elliott finished first in one race during the regular season, added a second and a third, and had two fourth-place finishes as she tied for second in the overall position race. With the competition around her solid, Elliott stepped her game up at Prospect Mountain in the state championships, skiing to a fourth-place finish as the Millionaires edged rival Mount Greylock for the title. Girls Co-Skier of the Year, Jackie Wells, Mount Greylock. Jackie Wells put together a solid and consistent showing throughout the Nordic season for Mount Greylock, finishing as the Mounties' top placer in 4 of the 6 Berkshire League races this winter. Her average finishing position, 1.25, was best in the league, and came in a season where 3 other skiers averaged a 2.5 finishing position. At the MIAA State Championships, Wells finished 12th overall, helping her Mounties to place second as a team. Boys Coach of the Year, Hiram Green, Mount Greylock. Hiram Green's influence on Nordic skiing in Berkshire County can be felt nearly everywhere, but most certainly in the trophy cabinet. A 3-decade veteran of the sport in the Berkshires, Green's boys teams have found consistent success in both the Berkshire League and the MIAA Championships. And this year was no different. The Mounties won the league title again, and a year after losing their grip on the state title, the coaches and skiers celebrated again this year when Greylock beat the pack at Prospect Mountain. Girls Coach of the Year, Joe Bazzano and Kyle Zinchuk, Lennox. The Lennox girls program has been steadily building for a few years now, and this winter the team capitalized on its strong foundation. Riding a strong underclassmen presence along with a few veteran skiers, the Millionaires got back on top of the MIAA by winning the state championship at Prospect Mountain. In the process, the Millionaires defeated their arch rivals, the Mount Greylock Mounties, to claim the ultimate prize.
Hello, student athletes and coaches. Congratulations to you all on an incredible season. Congratulations to the graduates moving forward. My name's Andy Newell, 4-time Olympic skier from Shaftesbury, Vermont. Man, congratulations on everything you've accomplished so far. The skills that you've learned as a student athlete will carry you so far into the future. You can really accomplish anything. Huge shout out to the Berkshires. Berkshire Outfitters was one of my first sponsors as a kid. I think they gave me my first pair of skis. See you all at the new and improved Prospect Mountain, just north of you guys. And yeah, continue to train hard, have fun, and support one another.
Ice hockey. Co-Player of the Year, Ryan LaPierre, Wacona. Ryan LaPierre finished off his hockey career in dominating fashion, scoring 20 goals and dishing out 14 assists as the Wacona hockey team made a run into the Western Mass Division 3A championship game. LaPierre scored 4 goals in the playoffs to get his team to the final, had 1 hat-trick in the regular season, and recorded multiple points in 10 games. He also had multiple assists in 2 games this season, including 3 in a win over Chicopee Comp. Co-Player of the Year, Jake Risley, Wacona. Risley's senior year was broken up at times due to illness, but a cold was about the only thing that could get to the netminder during the season. Risley recorded 2 shutouts on the year, and in a 4-game span near the end of the season, he gave up just 4 goals while his team scored 15. During the team's Western Mass D3A final run, Risley gave up just 4 goals in 3 games and had 37 saves in the final before Greenfield finally broke through. Coach of the Year, Matt Risley, Wacona. Matt Risley took over 2 years ago and showed off his abilities as coach by getting the Warriors to the Western Mass Division 3A championship game in the 2019-20 season. Risley was able to mix together kids from 3 different schools, Wacona, Taconic, and Pittsfield, and get them to buy into a team-first message. Risley's kids spread the puck around throughout the season and were defensively stout as they made their run through the Division 3A tournament. Swimming. Boys Swimmer of the Year, Sam Cebulski, Monument Mountain. Cebulski shined in his sophomore season, registering 12 points for Monument at the Western Central Massachusetts swim meet by slicing 2 seconds off his time in both the 100-yard breaststroke and 200 freestyle. His 10th place finish in the 100 backstroke with a time of 59.98 was good for 7 points, the most any local swimmer earned in any event. Sobalski showcased the versatility needed to stand out as one of the county's strongest swimmers. Girls Swimmer of the Year, Asa Stone, Monument Mountain. Stone was the Berkshire Eagles Girls Swimmer of the Year for the 2018-19 season after 2 bronze medals at the Western Central Mass Swim Meet and raised the bar at this season's meet, crushing her seed times and earning 2 first-place finishes. Stone's confidence continued outside of the swimming lanes, becoming a leader for a roster that is on the younger side. Coach of the Year, Jill Zverita, Monument Mountain. The names may change, but the Spartans continue to thrive under Coach Zverita. On the boys' side, a second straight undefeated season. Meanwhile, the girls finished with an impressive 8-2 record. Zverita isn't just a swimming coach, but a life coach who invests the same amount of time in and out of the pool. The Spartans enter each season with high hopes and rarely miss the mark with a sustainability that is rarely seen at the high school level.
Hey guys, this is Jake Benzinger, offensive lineman for the Arizona Cardinals and former 3-sport athlete at Mount Greylock. I just want to let you guys know that even though we haven't been able to have a spring season or get together for the All-Star Gala, I wanted to know that your accomplishments have not gone unnoticed. And I want to extend my congratulations for you guys having a great career and or season and to keep those dreams moving forward. The best way to do that is to stay on your grind throughout the quarantine. Throughout stay at home, do whatever you can, find whatever way you can work out, take your game to the next level. And you might have to put the car in neutral, do some car pushes, find any way to work out you can, but you won't regret it. And take this time to train hard, stay healthy, stay safe, and hold down the homestead. Thanks, guys.
Wrestling. Upperweight Wrestler of the Year, Dylan Burke, Taconic. Burke capped his dominant career at Taconic by repeating as a Western Mass D3 champion and claiming a second MIAA Division III championship, this time at 182 pounds, before going on to place third at the MIAA All-State meet. Burke broke the school's all-time wins record this year and finishes with 176 wins to his name. Burke also broke the school's single-season wins mark, recording 55 in his senior campaign. Co-lowerweight Wrestler of the Year, Zach Lupiani, Mount Everett. Lupiani joins his dad, Dave, as a wrestling all-star this winter. The elder of the Lupiani siblings currently on the team, Zach's season was one of redemption as he climbed back on top of the Western Mass D3 World by winning the sectional title at 126 pounds, the second sectional title of his career. Lupiani went on to place third at the MIAA Division III Championships and qualified for the All-State Championships as well. Co-lowerweight Wrestler of the Year, Mike Lafreniere, Taconic. Lafreniere capped off his Taconic career by winning a second straight Western Mass D3 title, this time at 132 pounds. Lafreniere went on to place second at the MIAA D3 Championships and qualified for the All-State meet. Lafreniere went over 150 career wins during the season and finished with 155, third all-time for the program. Coach of the Year, Dave Lupiani, Mount Everett. Dave Lupiani is a veteran of the wrestling game in Berkshire County, and now he can add Coach of the Year honors to his cabinet. Lupiani's Mount Everett team has been low on numbers for a while now, but his few kids put up big performances in the 2019-20 season. Lupiani's sons, Nick and Zach, won Western Mass D3 titles in the winter, and the Eagles also had Jeremiah Tomaszak and Eduardo Rodriguez place at sectionals en route to placing fourth as a team.
Folks, it's an honor to introduce the next segment of the Berkshire Eagles 2020 Berkshire All Stars Award Show. It's when we announce the male and female athletes of the year. Who are they? Let's find out. Congratulations to all of you.
Special awards. Boys Team of the Year. Taconic Basketball. The concept of a championship hangover isn't new. In fact, we recently heard the great Michael Jordan talk about championship burnout and the toll it can take on teams. With that in mind, it would have been easy for Taconic to coast a bit this year and rest on its past laurels. That, though, didn't happen. Instead, Taconic got back to the grindstone and tripled the effort to make sure a repeat would be celebrated. And in the nature of team success, this squad did have to rally around each other to get the ultimate prize. By mixing in just 3 returning players with some eager new ones, Taconic went from a rocky start to a hot finish, winning its final 12 games, including winning a 3rd straight Western Mass D2 title and claiming Co-State champion honors. Our Boys Team of the Year, for the 2nd time in our All-Stars history, is the Taconic Boys Basketball Team. Girls Team of the Year, Lennox Cross Country Running. Building a team is a process, and at the high school level, that process can sometimes go by the wayside due to a myriad of factors. But in the fall, Lennox showed off the progress they have made as a team and showed what commitment to teammates and a program can lead to. After watching their arch rivals take home Western Mass D2 titles the previous 2 seasons, Lennox turned the tables at Northfield Mountain in the fall and rode a true group effort, 4 runners placing in the top 10 to reclaim the Western Mass sectional title. A week later, the girls doubled down on their efforts and brought home the program's first state championship by besting the field, including Mount Greylock again, at the Gardner Municipal Golf Course for the MIAA D2 crown. Our Girls Team of the Year for the first time in our All-Stars history is the Lennox Cross Country Running Team. Male Athlete of the Year, Kevin Hubin, Wacona. Our Male Athlete of the Year has heard his name called twice so far in our video, and is more than worthy of hearing it called a 3rd time. Whether on a soccer pitch or a basketball court, Hubin didn't just play well, he excelled. In soccer, he was a goal-scoring machine, racking up hat tricks and multi-point games like they cost him nothing. That paid off by helping his team make the Western Mass D3 tournament. In basketball, he showed the same veracity for scoring and consistently put up 20-plus point performances, even amongst the strongest competition available. Midway through the season, he even hit a milestone, recording his 1,000th career point in a come-from-behind win on the road. Next fall, Hubin will go to the University of Denver to pursue a major in biochemistry and hopes to go to medical school after that. Our Male Athlete of the Year is Wacona's Kevin Hubin. Female Athlete of the Year, Riley Robinson, Hoosick Valley. Robinson isn't just one of the best athletes in Berkshire County, she might be the toughest, but her physicality belies her natural abilities both on a soccer field and on the basketball court. And her ability to marry her physicality with her skills is what sets her apart. As a midfielder, she roamed the soccer pitch looking to help both in attack and in defense, playing a key role in getting her team to the Western Mass D3 tournament. But as good as she was in soccer, Robinson ramped things up in the winter. On the basketball court, she served as a defensive anchor that was constantly directing teammates into the best positions, while also playing a key role in the offense, whether by scoring a basket, assisting, or grabbing an all-important rebound. Robinson will attend Springfield College next year and the school's excellent physical therapy program, and could even try to make the Pride's basketball team. Our Female Athlete of the Year, Hoosick Valley's Riley Robinson.
I'd like to share a few things with you that have been important to me in my life and in my career, and they may be helpful to you no matter what career path you take. One is curiosity. Coach told me early on, kid, you're going to pitch for a long time if you don't hurt your arm. I said, why? Because you're curious. You ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions of those who are doing what you want to do, how they got there, how they achieved success, what would they do differently, what might they do at all. I think today there's a lack of asking questions of people who have been very successful doing what we want to do in the future. So be curious. Be humble, humility. One of my favorite lines, a sportscaster in Minnesota, back when I was listening to sportscasts on radio, would close with this line. I'm Al Shaver saying, when you lose, say a little, when you win, say less. Pretty good advice. Another one is be accountable. Sports teaches you to be a good teammate. You're going to make mistakes. Admit your mistakes. Bear the pain. Stand alone. Tell the truth. Do what's right. Learn to lift your teammates up and encourage them, not shame them with condescending criticism. A good motto is, do your best, forget the rest. And be responsible. Make your bed in the morning. Pretty good way to feel like you've done something for the day. Be on time. My dad trained me with this motto, if you can't be on time, be early. Tom Brady was so far down the quarterback's depth chart at the University of Michigan, he only had 2 minutes in practice to run the upcoming opponent's offense. So he took those 2 minutes and treated it like it was his game for the day. Well, who's been better in your lifetime as far as NFL quarterbacks in the last 2 minutes? You know who. And your coaches next year are going to have quite a challenge. They have to re-motivate, re-energize. They're going to need your help. As well as coaching you, you need to help them. As my friend Tom Kelly, great manager of the Minnesota Twins, used to say, boys, we're all in the same boat. Grab an oar. Let's all row in the same direction. So I wish you health and happiness and success in all you do, whether it's in sports or any other career path. These have been challenging times for us all, but especially for our young players. So to all of you spring sport athletes, especially all of you seniors out there, the Berkshire Eagles 2020 Berkshire All Star Unsung Heroes Award is going to go to all of you. So from me to you, keep the faith, keep practicing, keep playing, and look to the future. I'm Jim Cott. So long, everyone.